I grew up in a small village in Sussex. Women were supposed to be the homemakers. We never saw education as something valuable because as a woman, I was supposed to get married and have family and not have aspirations. And I railed against it. I've traveled to many different countries, Kenya, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, and I now find myself in France, living here in a beautiful environment, which gives me time to paint and write, and I'm just loving it. Nepal was a defining part-time in my life because I was working with women's groups and really started to formulate some of my ideas about how we can work together, support each other. The work I did within the community was to help open their eyes to more possibilities. Those experiences then became the basis for my thesis, and that changed the trajectory of my life because having done a doctorate gives you an alternative way of thinking. You analyze, you research, and come up with new ideas. So the people that I was working with, they had such hard lives. They might not have enough food for 3 months of the year, but if you visited them and spent time with them, they would sit and talk and explain more things about the way they live their lives. And I just learnt so much from those interactions. I ended up as an assistant director, and I did think about to go a step further and become a director of public health. But once you're a director, you're no longer doing public health. You become part of the corporate machine. And that's not what interested me at all. That then became an impetus for this next phase of my life. The book is called Feminine Face of Embodied Leadership, blossoming into a new way of being, aligning, and becoming. I interviewed 20 women who are all leaders. There are 13 chapters to the book, and each of the chapters starts with the letter C. They are qualities about leadership, so caring, compassion, courage, and so forth. And for each of those, I painted a mandala. You have to persist to write a book. It's that messy middle that you get in, that you have to just keep going one step at a time to get beyond it. I've faced quite a few struggles throughout my career. Those experiences mean that when someone is talking to me about some of the things that have happened in their lives, I can have a sense of empathy with them. But because I've also got through it, I can offer something else. So I've ended up with a few ex-colleagues of mine saying, Marion, do you have a time that I could just have a chat with you? And so I'd like to make that more into something that I can offer. The fears can magnify themselves, especially if you focus on them. Being able to just open up a bit with someone, to be vulnerable, let go of perfection and do what's good enough, because you'll probably find that good enough is beyond what many people would do anyway. That's what I loved, is to see how a conversation can become something more. It sparks those potential opportunities.